all of my most played heroes in Dota, there's only like 3 that haven't had the opportunity to be showcased in an Only Way to Play episode. Husker's my most, and he's had one, as you can tell by how way more explanatory that guide was. I mean, I clearly know him a bit more than someone like Pango, who I never played? What? Oh yeah, spoiler alert, in case you didn't know, the most insane and potentially terrible and game-losing builds I smartly think up are played somewhere far away from my main account, surrounded by friends and a supportive cast of 50 therapists. Anyway, Oracle is my second most played, and the one that's been played probably more times on that other account than on this one, so technically I guess it's my most played all up. I don't know, maybe 800 games? In fact, that account was born through these dark times of Oracle experimentation that pretty much ended with 50 games lost to every 1-1. That's why my win rate is tanked. My main account's not recovered really, but I mean the Oracle guide comes soon. Before TI8 soon. Maybe. Then there's Meepo, whose explanations I can't really do justice. I win, but I mean, I don't know why I win. I think I just tab poof. Yeah, there's my guide for Meepo. Tab poof. But yeah, basically we'll just have to have a special guest for that episode. And then third is Clockwerk. Oh, it's the aftermath of that feature-length AGS episode from last month, so I guess the cat's out of the bag for a couple of these new builds, because I specifically rated Clockwerk's AGS upgrade at 10th. Of all AGS upgrade, there's like 90 of them. It beat out Pugna and Nightstalker and Sniper somehow. So why did it rate so high? I mean, yeah, it's good, but it's like a late game situational pickup, right? By the time you get it, the game's over, right? Well, no, because we get it first. First off, if we whip the power pyramid up for a sec, I'll run you through why. Right off the bat, Clockwerk's best against heroes who don't you know, want to die. I mean, I get that that's all of them, bar maybe techies, but specifically I mean those backline bandits like Sniper, Tinker, Drow Ranger maybe. Clockwerk is the king of disruptive teamfights, arguably more so than the guy named after the word disruption. The best way to kill a sniper hiding behind his teammates is to split him up from his teammates. Second in that are heroes who fight their way out of confrontations. You know the type. I mean, remember this clip I made way back?
You seem to understand. I'm locked in here with you. That's it! You're locked in here with me!
Your two options for escaping a Clockwerk is to kill him, or desperately try to beat down the cogs keeping you in, or thirdly hoping your teammates come to save you. So yeah, just two options. There's this weird thing you notice as a Clockwerk player that people just sometimes don't choose to do anything and just go AFK waiting for cogs to end. They have an 8-second duration, dude. Like, they just succumb to their fate and go, I guess I'll die. I mean, as a Clockwerk player myself, I'm not going to discourage you from doing that, but as a teacher, I feel like I should at least bring it up, you know? Cogs only takes a couple of hits to get out. Like, literally 2, even at level 4, which was a bit of a nerf. Anyway, some people chose the first option, but oh my god, it's hard to man-fight a guy who is mini-stun cancelling your every other hit. Speaking of mini-stunning, third tier is more cruel than skillful, but hey man, if that's your thing, go for it. The following heroes take longer to cast spells than the time between battery assault stuns, meaning that they can't successfully cast them ever. Leshrac, Earthshaker, Jakiro, and then a couple of specific spells like Brewmaster's Split, and I think Naga Siren's Ult, and Ensnare, I think? I mean, those specific ones also have a large cast time, but, you know. Watching a desperate Ogre Magi infinitely trying and failing to cast a life-saving Fire Blast on you while he goes from 6 HP to death is depressing, fun. I don't know, I need a word that sort of fits both of them. But on the flip side, heroes with escapes that can go off at a battery assault, especially escapes with less than 12 seconds of cooldown, counter Clockwerk the most. A normal Clockwerk, but maybe not ours. What does counter us are heroes with multiple summons and illusions. That and Husker.
Hey, listen! Some kind of mistake. I didn't sign up for a cage match. Hey,
You're going nowhere!
Oh, did I mention I'd take a mid? Surprise! Here's the build. Now, before you jump to conclusions, let me explain. Battery Assault can deal up to 15,020 damage in one cast if there's only one person and they stay in range for the whole 10.5 seconds. But bear with me, it doesn't hit invisible units and approx 0.1 second stun every 0.7 seconds, effectively meaning that there's 0.6 seconds of not being disabled. Forgive me if that math is wrong, I never graduated middle school. It works on creeps, it works on neutrals, it works on heroes. Power cogs, however, can deal up to 1600 damage if one enemy somehow runs around and gets stunned by every single cog in its 8-second duration. Cogs also burns mana for the exact same amount. They take 2 attacks to destroy for enemies, 1 for Clockwerk, unless you're at level 1 where it just takes 1 for both. And Power Cogs, over Rocket Flare, over Hookshot is your highest skill ceiling spell. I mean, you already know the classics, right? Jump in, Cogs, Cage Fight, or for you super woke people, jumping in, walking above them, cogsing and damaging them. But like nautical knots, there's 99 variations of this combo. Now let's list them all. Hookshot, Cogs, Battery Assault, a single person. Being smarter, hookshotting, realizing hookshot stuns for 2 whole seconds, attacking a few times, then after the 2 seconds, Battery Assaulting and then Cogsing right before they escape. Hookshot, attack, walk behind them, Cogs and push them forward. Hookshot, Cogs and push them on a cliff. With a force staff, hookshotting, walking directly in front of them, cogsing, then force staffing them forward to another cogs to burn 400 mana and health. The classic blocking creeps. I mean, we'll do that at the start of the game. That's what the value point in cogs is for. You can cancel a TP. You can fail to cancel a TP. You can also use them if your friend picks Shadow Fiend and wants to deny cogs for soul charges. Wait, what? Your cogs have souls? No, seriously, doesn't the existence of a soul denote a consciousness? Are we murdering sentient cogs? Murdering cogs for fun. Another classic, missing the block of creeps. Fuck you, Clad, you ruined my lane equilibrium. Running from enemies and cogsing upstairs so they run into them. Pretending to run from enemies and cogsing them in when they walk up the stairs. Running from enemies in style by force staffing and cogsing while in the air. Just walking and cogsing no one so you can instead cast them in between the enemy to cut someone off. Waiting around a corner so by the time you're spotted the enemy is next to you. Burning the melee enemy laner's mana when he comes to last hits. Burning it again. Seriously, you can just keep doing this for the rest of the laning phase. Fighting an invis enemy by randomly cogsing without warning and looking for the electrical particles. Casting it, then watching the enemy try to farm it, but then denying every cog before he kills it. For mind games, you can cogs the Necrobrook, a cage match where it's 3 against 1. Cogs right on the start of game rune spot, nobody would even try to contest it. You can marvel at the fact that the shape of power cogs is in itself a cog. With a force staff, you can cogs the Ursa, make him pop a BKB, then force staff out and trap men. Burn mana with it. I mean, at level 1 it's 80 mana burn for the cost of 50 mana on you. Hookshot, cogs and then have the enemy escape by just force staffing out. Or alternatively, running at them, neglecting to use it, running them down with battery assault and waiting until they have to use force staff to escape. Then hookshot cogsing them. Being an unseen ninja, hookshotting in, cogsing, and then blinking out before they even notice you were there. And leave them all trapped. Cogs and battery assault into Meteor Hammer. Cogs into Meteor Hammer, but they just walk right out because you forgot the battery assault. You can push up against a cliff to get a 1600 high ground vision with the cogs. You can push up against trees to get the cog to clip over them and give them vision from over the trees. You can stand right in the middle of a common juke spot and just cogs to reveal every path possible. And then of course, buying refresher, cogsing twice in an overlap and jumping in the middle to demonstrate a Venn diagram of all the people in your game that are both cool and attractive. A very important and very common technique that you'll use a lot. Cliffing Roshan like this. And how many was there? We'll round up. But back on track, Rocket Flare is a global vision grunting nuke that deals 200 damage, so people forgo the first part of that and focus on the damage. Yeah, I guess it speeds up your farm, dude, and that's all well and good, but the vision lasts 10 seconds on a 14-second cooldown. You can effectively have a constant 86% uptime ward that is mobile. It can constantly be moving, you can shoot it at Roche to guarantee that unless they kill Roche in the 4 seconds between flares, that they'll never be able to take Roche. Or you can do the extremely fun strat of finding one random enemy and just deciding to make their life absolute hell. Basically, what you do is whenever flares off cooldown, fire it at them and trickle them down until they die. It's classic fun. You ever see that short film about the guy beaten to death by spoons over the course of like 10 years? We're pretty much just reenacting that. And finally, hookshot. I remember for the first year or two of playing Dota that Clockwerk was just a worse version of Punch. I mean, what? His hookshot brings him to the enemy and can't be leveled up until 6 and has a 70-second cooldown? What a joke, right? And then you learn that it has a range of 3000 and complements your entire kit. Yeah, I was stupid and slow. I still am stupid and slow. It's just that I happen to spend nearly a decade in Dota being bad. So to all of you, I seem like a generally skilled player. Nah, man. Nah, it's just time. And a decade of this game means I would have started at 13. Damn, dude, is that too much time to have spent playing Dota? What happens when I leave? Is that 10 years of accrued knowledge gonna do anything? Or just waste away in the back of my mind, you know? Hopefully making these dozens upon dozens of videos for all of you will secure these memories in a nice place where anyone can benefit from them. Before I leave Dota for good, I hope that I put everything I know about the game into some chunky YouTube videos that maybe you will enjoy. I have no reason to keep any strat a secret, right? Which means sooner or later, we will get to that Oracle build. And sooner or later, I'll stop padding this video and explain the Clockwerk build that you're already trying to get through right now. In part 2, after this break. Yeah, sorry man, we ran out of time. I don't know what happened. Before we carry on, I did some calculations in the break room just then, and it turns out Clockwerk travels at 540 kilometers per hour when he casts Hookshot, right? I mean, if 1 unit is 1 inch, yeah, we're using the Imperial system, I know it's gross, but bear with, if 1 unit is 1 inch, then Clockwerk traveling at 3000 units in 0.5 seconds, which he does at level 3 Hookshot, means he's traveling about 250 feet in half a second, which is 500 feet a second, which is equal to 150 meters per second, which, you guessed it, is 540 kilometers an hour. Oh my god, damn, my little guy has got to have the best right shoulder joints of all time. I mean, the dude straight up just one-hands his hookshot when he uses it. He's accelerating from 0 to 540 in an instant, and he's so baller he doesn't even bother getting a two-handed grip on the damn thing. Clockwerk's a beast. Clockwerk, dare I say it, as I've never said it before, might just be the greatest hero in the game. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, Hookshot. Hookshot's pretty neat. Hookshot has a cast range of 2000 to 2500, then 3000 depending on the level. And for some reason, the speed of the chain changes too. I don't know why. When the hook hits anything, that unit is stunned for 2 seconds immediately on hook impact, and then stunned again for 2 seconds when Clockwerk hits it after flying through the air, usually about a half second later. Yeah dude, there's 2 stuns. You didn't know that, did you? You wouldn't even be able to tell without straight up playing the game at 0.2 times the speed. What's happening is the latched unit is stunned and not damaged, and all units that Clockwerk hits on the way to that latched unit are also stunned, and then damaged by collision with Clockwerk himself. Crazy, right? Unfortunately, the latch radius is 125, while the stun damage radius is 50 more, at 175. So, I mean, you're rarely, if ever, going to be bombarding a guy in the back while also flying through everyone between you and he to get a rampage with just 1 hook shot. I mean, having said that, with 5 hook shots in one fight, we might. Before that though, Clockwerk is a hero that actually has what I'd call essential talent choices. It's not the 25 movement speed over 5 armor, as much as that is really good. It's not the 30 battery assault damage over 15 strength, as much as that's really good. It's not the plus 125 rocket flare damage over the plus 20% magic resistance, although that's pretty good. A 325 damage nuke with global range? Wow. But it is, of course, minus 0.3 seconds between battery assault intervals over the second option of just rocket flare true sight, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, the true sight situationally really useful for revealing wards without needing to be near them, and for comboing with your power cogs to guarantee a cage that, you know, when a Clinks gets hookshotted, he can't just go invis and then hide in that cage. But dude, I mean, with the battery assault talent, you can do this. I never really know how to start these, so I guess at the beginning, right? Hey, it's a very good place to start. Soaring's recent change of recipe to 2 gauntlets of strength instead of the health and Sage's mask really sort of makes the starting build good. I was never sure of it beforehand, but after that patch, every single game it is the exact same starting items. Tangos, 2 gauntlets, stealth shield. 2 gauntlets go into Soul. Clockwerk's one of the rare heroes to be able to get every single pair of boots in the game and utilize them. I mean, I've talked at lengths about when to get which boots, but to sum it up, I personally get treads over all else when taking Clockwerk mid. There's not a single item other than this that we end up getting to assist in attack speed. When cogsing someone, the ability to actually attack the dude fast pays off, you know? It also helps with farming creeps. In a really weird way. Because of Rocket Flare dealing the exact damage it does, Phase Boots with its plus 24 damage is actually slower than Treads. Let me elaborate. Rocket Flare deals 200 damage, which you then finish off with a few last hits. You fire it on a creep wave at the start, and then get the last hits. You know, it's pretty typical. With Treads you have plus 10 damage, with Phase you have plus 24. But the creeps are at such a specific health after Flare that they require the exact same amount of hits to kill them regardless. So, in a warped way, Treads beats Phase Boots simply by making you get those set amount of hits off faster. You can also Tread switch with it, which is really useful with Soul Ring. And, I mean, hey, stats. They also help you farm towards Blink. Yep, this build's got 2 twists in it. Yeah, we rush Blink. We rush Blink specifically because we, with our kit, can't actually really rush Ags fast enough. The only farming item that we have is Rocket Flare, which we don't use for farming. I mean, I guess Battery Assault you could say is... But I mean, you could say Midas or another smaller farming item would help you farm, but I mean, Clockwerk's still a really important early game powerhouse. Midas means that you have no relevance for the first 10-15 minutes. Maelstrom's hard to farm. Blink is 1,000 gold cheaper. And Blink is, inarguably, a farming item. But it's also a ganking item. Team fighting item. It's an everything item. I mean, can you make an argument against that? It's good for escape, it's good for pushing, I mean, and because of not having Ags and not having a 12-second cooldown on Hookshot, the ability to jump into a fight without having to burn Hookshot is a plus. Blink on that support, cogs him, kill him. Because we're rushing Blink immediately after Treads, we'll have it about 10 to 15 minutes before 4 staffs come in. And by that time, we'll have Ags, you know? So then we can just stun them right after. After that, it's all up to you. When taking such a core role as mid, I prefer not to really go utility items like Lotus Orb. Instead, opting to go more Shivas, and maybe even some games a Meteor Hammer, Assault Cuirass, Sanjin Yasha, Rapier, you know, useful stuff. But really with the way that we're about to use Ags, you can buy anything in the world. What I mean by that is, you can use Hookshot to farm. You will use Hookshot to farm. You're like a robotic storm spread after you get Ags. Soul Ring helps you with this, Shivas does too. You just jump constantly to every single creep wave. I really recommend practicing knowing by muscle memory where the jungle creeps spawn. Like not just the camp, literally the exact point where a creep will be. After you know this exact point, it nearly becomes impossible to not just flick your wrist to the minimap without even looking, and then just blindly hookshotting 3,000 units away to a jungle camp when you're ganked, you know? So hooray, not only have you escaped a gank extremely easily, you're already halfway through farming a new camp. Talk about efficiency. And yes, sometimes you will make mistakes. I mean, it happens, you know? Cogs can screw a lot of people over, but you can make a much more terrible mistake, and a very preventable mistake, by not immediately rectifying that first mistake. If you accidentally cogs a teammate while chasing down an enemy, your top priority now becomes freeing that teammate. 3 reasons. 1, simply it just takes them double the time it takes you to destroy a cog. 2, that person was planning on doing something to that enemy that you were chasing, and you're abruptly disrupting it, you know? And 3, these people are ticking time bombs, dude. I mean, It's true. Even the biggest rager in the world will forgive you for trapping him in cogs for a split second, but the longer an ally is in there, the faster they are becoming your enemy. You know what that Dota loading screen used to say way back in the day, right? You've already got 5 enemies. You probably shouldn't be making any more. Hello. This episode was brought to you by Chris 1996, Free Kill, Foxy Fucking Loxley, Lucas Kakon, Michael Robb, Mine Siege Towers, Official Brony TV, Sir Lazarus Dibson, Yes It Is Me Ren, The Adam Sandler Attack Grab, Asbestos, Bow Wow, Kolojo, Edgar Birchall, me, I Eat Ass, I mean I can't pronounce the German way, so it just translates to I Eat Ass, Kim Nelson, Milocott, Mr. Magic aka The Tones, Redolus, Shadow Sweetheart, Squirty McFlirty, Tefetu, Apache Mari wearing a headband nicknamed as Hatcrafter, Ashen Rabbit, Carbon Bond, Christian Ryder, Cody Richards Little Shit, Doziel, English Breakfast Tea, Freed of Malachor, Jeff Miller, Grumman, Hi I'm Eric and I'm a filthy fucking slide first picker, Jelly Jew Giant, King Gizzard, and the Shitty Wizard, Leon Silver, Leonard, Tsunami Shadow, Mr. Willie, Much Skill Very Pro Wow, Neutral Platonic Land Brace Vertebrate, Orange Filter Sky, Procrastination Studios, Pro S, Pernith P, Raphael Silva, Rhett Mitchell, RJ shouldn't have to play position 5 every game. Yeah, I agree. Why don't we just remove position 5 entirely? It would save all the arguments. Anyway, Ryan Webb, Rugu Mafleur, Serendipity Doodah, Shaka, Shiva's Guard, Scar, Slap a Leg of Lamb on the side for it, Spencer Davis, Taco Boom Dog, The Choco Taku, Thomas Langley, Wazer 107, Yabos McGee, and yeah, Anime Titty. Right, bye.